up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Learn Japanese from Some Guy. In today's video, we're going to be looking at chapter 40, and we're going to learn today how to talk about plans that we have or plans that other people have. And to do this, we're going to be using tsumori. Okay, so I think the structure is extremely useful because by the end of the lesson, we'll know how to say things like, I am planning on going to Japan, or she is planning on coming to my house for dinner, or whatever. So, and what really makes this structure great is that it's so simple to use. Okay, so basically, all we have to do is append tsumori to the dictionary form of our verb. And this is nice because it works the same for type 1, type 2, and type 3 verbs. So very simple, just say the verb and tsumori, and you're done. So here we have some really quick examples. So we have suru, to do, suru tsumori, plan to do, kaku, kaku tsumori, plan to write, nomu, nomu tsumori, plan to drink, kangaeru, kangaeru tsumori, plan to think, kuru, kuru tsumori. So as you can see, we have, our type 3 verb, suru, type 1 verb, kaku, type 2 verb, kangaeru, and it's all the same. Just add tsumori to the dictionary form of the verb to get plan to do that verb, and that's it. So to see this in action, we'll look at some example sentences now. The verbs will be highlighted in purple, so they're easier to see. So let's look at number 1. So we have, 私は明日東京に行くつもりです。So I'm planning on going to Tokyo tomorrow. So 行くつもり, planning to go, plan to go. Number 2, 私はそのレストランで晩ご飯を食べるつもりです。So I'm planning on eating dinner at that restaurant. 食べるつもり, plan to eat. And number 3, 私はこの本を読むつもりです。So I'm planning on reading this book. 読むつもり, plan to read. So very simple, right? Easy, piece of cake. And I really like this structure because in addition to just being easy, it allows us, to express ourselves in a very, useful way. Something you can use, all the time. But we have to be a little careful about the time that we're using. So if we want to talk about something we were planning to do, then we have to use the past tense, of course. But we don't change tsumori. Tsumori stays the same. The verb we have to conjugate, or the, I guess it's not really a verb, but what we have to conjugate is des, the copula. So we'll look at some examples in the past tense now. So we have the exact same verbs as before. So we have suru, suru tsumori deshita. So was planning to do. Kaku, kaku tsumori deshita. Was planning to write. So instead of saying kaku tsumori desu, we're saying kaku tsumori deshita. Was planning to write. So we have deshita, the past tense of des. And we have nomu becomes nomu tsumori deshita. Was planning to drink. Kangaeru, kangaeru tsumori deshita. Was planning to think. And kuru, kuru tsumori deshita. So was planning to come, but I changed my mind or something happened. So again, very easy. If we want to have the past tense and talk about something we were planning to do, we just add deshita. Kangaeru tsumori deshita. Nomu tsumori deshita. And we'll look at some example sentences. So number 1, 私は明日東京に行くつもりでした. So I was planning to go to Tokyo, but maybe I got sick or something happened, so now I can't. Number 2, 私はそのレストランで晩ご飯を食べるつもりでした. So I was planning on eating dinner at that restaurant, but I heard it was bad, so now I'm going to go somewhere else. Number 3, 私はこの本を読むつもりでした. So I was planning on reading this book, but I started reading another one instead. So very, very easy. But you may have noticed that all of the example sentences we have seen so far, watashi is the subject. So what do we do if he or she or they is the subject? So this gets a little complicated, but hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult for you. So we can't just say tsumori desu when talking about someone else's plans. We have to append da to itteimasu. So it's very similar to how when we learned about using to omou. When we want to talk about what I think, I can say この映画はいいと思う. So I can say と思う. But if I want to talk about someone else's feelings, I would say 彼はこの映画がいいだと思っている. So I would say だと思っている. So it's the same concept. So if I want to talk about what someone else is planning, I have to append だと言っています or だと言っている to the end of the sentence. So here we have an example of what not to say. So 彼は日本に行くつもりです. So here we have the subject is 彼, right? So we can't say 彼は日本に行くつもりです. That's wrong. We would have to say 彼は日本に行くつもりだと言っています. 彼は日本に行くつもりだと言っています. So he said he is planning on going to Japan. He is planning on going to Japan. So I think you might, I could be wrong, but you might hear, people say 彼は日本に行くつもりです. And everyone can understand what you're saying, and maybe it's okay, and maybe it's just technically not correct. But to be technically and accurate, or more, I guess more accurate with your Japanese, then you would have to say だと言っています. 彼は日本に行くつもりだと言っています. So we just add だと言っています to the end of つもり. That's it. And let's see. Another minor note is that we can only use つもり when we're talking about things that we have control over. So that is to say, you cannot use つもり for something that is determined by someone or something else. So for example, we can't say 私は試験に合格するつもりです. So I'm planning on passing the test is what, even if you say it in English, I'm planning on passing the test. It's like, well, whatever your plans are, it doesn't matter. You have to pass the test. No, the test doesn't care about your plans. So in Japanese, you can't say 合格するつもりです. I'm planning on passing the test because I don't have control. I can study and I can prepare, but ultimately, someone's going to grade the test and I either pass or I fail. And we can't say something like 私はお金持ちになるつもりです. So I'm planning on becoming rich. Well, that's even in English, again, that's kind of a strange thing to say. Like, well, who cares what you're planning? That doesn't matter. So you cannot use つもり this way. Only in things you can control. Like, I'm going to go to my friend's house, or I'm going to take a day off, or I'm going to go buy some coffee, because I can go do that, right? I can choose or choose not to do that. So just keep that in mind, right? Something you have control over. So anyway, now we're going to look at some practice problems. So I know this chapter was kind of short, but hopefully, the information wasn't too difficult. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the English sentence. For example, it says, I am planning on quitting my job. So this is something I have control over, right? I can choose to quit. And we have the verb at the end, 辞める, which means to quit. So we have 私は仕事を, and then we take the verb, 辞めるつもりです. So I'm planning on quitting my job. Here we have he said he was planning on studying Spanish. So now we have he as the subject, not 私. So we have the verb する. So we say 彼はスペイン語を勉強するつもりだと言っていました. So we have 言っていました because we have the past tense. So he said he was planning. So if the sentence were he said he is planning, then we would say 勉強するつもりだと言っています. But it's the past tense, so we have to conjugate 言っています to the past tense. So pay attention to who the subject is, or who's doing the planning, and the tense. Is it the present, or is it the past, or the non-past, which are the two tenses in the Japanese language, right? No future tense, past and non-past. So anyway, so here we have number one. So I'm planning on ordering sushi. So pause the video, answer this one. And here we have number 2. He is planning on ordering sushi. So pause the video, answer this one. 3, 4, and 5. Pause the video and answer these. 6, 7, and 8, the last 3. So pause the video, answer these. And now we'll check. All right, so now let's check. We have number 1. So I am planning on ordering sushi. So we have する. So 私は寿司を注文するつもりです. So 注文する, to order at a restaurant. Number 2, he is planning on ordering sushi. 彼は寿司を注文するつもりだと言っています. So again, he, 彼 is the subject, so we have to add だと言っている, だと言っています to the end of つもり, because we're talking about his plans. Number 3, he was planning on ordering sushi, so now we have the past tense. 彼は寿司を注文するつもりだと言っていました. So again, the past tense, だと言っている, だと言っていました. Past tense. And number 4, I was planning on buying a suit. 私はスーツを買うつもりでした. 買うつもりでした。So, I'm the subject, so we just 買うつもりです. And of course, the past tense, the 買うつもりでした. And if you wanted to speak in a casual way, you could say 買うつもりだった. Of course, you guys probably know that. You can conjugate it, to whatever, politeness level you would like. But here we have, 私は, so でした makes more sense to be polite. And number 5, Dad said he is planning on taking a walk. お父さんは散歩するつもりだと言っています. So again, Dad is the subject, so we have to add だと言っています. And it's the present tense. Number 6, Kevin said he is planning on coming to Japan. ケビンさんは日本に来るつもりだと言っています。来るつもりだと言っています. So he is planning on coming to Japan. So he is the subject, right? So we have to add だと言っています. Number 7, she said she was planning on moving to Nagasaki. So 引っ越す is the verb for to move. So 彼女は長崎に引っ越すつもりだと言っていました. So she was planning 言っていました. Past tense. And number 8, I'm planning on writing the report. 私はレポートを書くつもりです. So I'm planning on writing the report. So that's it. We just added つもり to the dictionary form of the verb. And です. So of course, you don't have to add です. You could just say レポートを書くつもり. That's fine. レポートを書くつもりだ. But we're talking politely. 私はレポートを書くつもりです. And that's it. So basically, and this chapter is really short, but we learned a very useful, structure to talk about our intentions or our plans. We just append つもり to the dictionary form of type 1, type 2, or type 3 verb. Doesn't matter. And we have to remember that when we talk about the plans of other people, we have to append だと言っている to つもり. And of course, if we want to talk about the past tense, we could conjugate 言っている to the past tense. Or, the negative form, he is not planning on doing something, so you can conjugate it any way you want. We didn't go over the negative form, but, you can, of course, use it. And finally, we learned to talk about the past tense, and then we append つもり, but we have to conjugate です or 言っている to the appropriate past tense form. And that's it. So make sure to watch that a couple times. Make sure you understand, who the subject is, and if it's the present tense or the past tense. And maybe, you can try and conjugate some of the sentences, つもりだと言っていない. So he is not planning on it or whatever. So just, build off that. And next time, we'll look at chapter 41, and we're going to practice asking for permission to do something. So, you've probably, if you watch anime or if you read manga, you've probably, come across this phrase quite a bit. So we'll learn how to use it and ask for permission to do something. So be sure to check back next week, and we'll see you next time. またね.